health and peace and happiness for everyone. Ashreinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Parashat Chayei-Sarah, Tafshin Pei Bet. Is a good relationship between Jews and non-Jews a good thing? What does Parashat Chayei-Sarah have to tell us about this question? And once again, I'd like to show how two different opinions can both be Divrei Elohim Chayim, the words of Hashem. In Parashat Vayera, we find that Ishmael is sent away, and this is very difficult for Avraham. This is not a good thing in his eyes. Vayera davar meod beinei Avraham. But Hashem, using the name Elohim, which is an expression of Midat Adin, the strictness coming from Hashem, Hashem says to him, you have to do this. Why? Ki veitzchak yikareh lecha zara. Because the continuation of the covenant between Hashem and Avraham is going to be Yitzchak. In Parashat Chayei-Sarah, Avraham makes an effort to find a good wife for his son Yitzchak, because Rivka and Yitzchak are going to continue the covenant that Sarah and Avraham have with Hashem. Later on, towards the end of the parasha, we find that Avraham had other sons. He gives them gifts, but he gives everything he has, meaning the main issue, the covenant, continuing the covenant and the mission of Am Yisrael, of Bnei Avraham, Yitzchak, and later on Yaakov with Hashem, that is passed on to Yitzchak. And immediately after that, we read about Avraham's death, and Yitzchak and Ishmael bury him together in Me'arat HaMachpelah. I have stressed this in the past, how right here we find Yitzchak and Ishmael cooperating, burying Avraham together. And today what I'd like to focus on is that after the separation and the clarification that Yitzchak is the continuation of Avraham, then Yitzchak and Ishmael can cooperate and can have a good relationship between the two of them. In the different circles in Am Yisrael today, we find something interesting. Those people are very careful to continue the covenant, being sons of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the covenant with Hashem, the mission of Am Yisrael. They're wary about their relationships with non-Jews. Those for whom that is not so important, they're not so wary about their relationships with non-Jews. Those who care to continue the covenant, who are careful to continue the covenant with Hashem, hear the words Hamavdil ben Yisrael la'amim, separating Israel from other nations, and they want to keep a certain separation. But I think we're missing something here, because the relationship with other nations is important. Am Yisrael was not chosen to be disconnected from everyone, but to bring blessing to the world. Separation, havdalah, does not mean there's no connection. It means keep a certain level of separation so that you will continue the mission of Am Yisrael, but have a relationship so that we can bring good to the world. And I think that dafka those who, like Yitzchak, like Avraham, passing on the covenant to Yitzchak, those who continue the covenant, dafka they can keep that separation, that level of separation, and at the same time create a good and constructive and a relationship that will bring blessing to the world between Jews and non-Jews. And here we come to the point of Eilu va'elu divrei Elohim chayim. There are those who say we shouldn't have relationships with non-Jews, we have to keep a separation. There's truth to that. There are those who say we have to have relationships with non-Jews. They're human beings. We have to have relationships with all human beings, with all nations in the world. There's a point to that. And they are both divrei Elohim chayim. Not only are they both divrei Elohim chayim, only when I put the two together, when I take both considerations and put them together, then I have the true, the whole divrei Elohim chayim. Be'atzlacha. Shabbat shalom.